This is the Bleav in Pro Wrestling podcast. Here's Rick Ucchino and SP3 on the Bleav Podcast Network.
And we are not alone here on this Friday. It is the Bleav in Pro Wrestling podcast Crown Jewel Prediction Show edition. And if you're new to the channel, typically we try to reach out and get another expert's opinion on the world of professional wrestling when it comes to these premium live events. And today we are honored to be joined by Bill Pritchard from WrestleZone. Bill, how's it going, good sir? Thank you for joining the program for the first time.
I am very good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking forward to it. We're going to run down the entire card here today, SP3. We got 8 great matches and a segment, which I guess we'll try to predict, but who knows what the hell Bray Wyatt's going to do. So it's going to be, I think, a pretty interesting show all around, regardless of what the results end up being.
I'm just hoping everything goes down safely and goes down at all. I know we've got an update today, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm on high alert. Keywords, high alert on this show.
Yeah, things aren't good over there in Saudi Arabia right now. If you don't keep up with the news, we've got reports of imminent attacks and things of that nature. So, yeah, very serious shit going down outside of Crown Jewel, right, in Saudi Arabia. So, yeah, let's just hope everything goes well. The talent got there safely. Let's just all hope they come back safely as well. We've known that's tend to be a hairy situation sometimes before in the past, as it is with these events. But the sole focus for the majority of this show is going to be on the card itself, which we hope, again, will go off without a hitch. Before we get into our predictions and really get launched here, I got to thank our friends over at Bet Online. We would not be here without them right now. Basketball's back. NFL's right in the full swing now. Bet Online remains your #1 source for all your sports betting needs this season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup information, player news, and game trends at Bet Online. And as your continued source for all your sports wagering information, Bet Online features live betting, free contests, and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports and events, whether it is the NFL, NBA, or the NHL, MMA, tennis, boxing, golf. It's all there. I think you can even bet on Crown Jewel, if I'm not mistaken. Head to betonline.ag to join. Receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use our promo code Bleav to receive those rewards. That is BLEAV. Bet Online, where the game starts. We appreciate you guys joining us here today on the YouTube channel or on the podcast channel, available wherever podcasts are, whether it's iHeart, Spotify, Google. We're there. We appreciate you tuning in. If you're joining again for the first time, you haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure to hammer that subscribe button, because as soon as we get to 500 subscribers, we're so close. We're so dang close, SP3. As soon as we get there, somebody's going to win $100 free cash money to either AEW Shop or Shop WWE. Wait, AEW Shop, AEW, and WWE Shop. Now I got them correctly. There we go. Very creative names all around. You're going to win $100 regardless on us. Just check out my pinned tweet at Rick Ucchino for all of those details. We are so close. We are getting there. All right, gentlemen, are we ready to break down everything that, again, hopefully will be going on at Crown Jewel? Let us start with this absolute barn burner. We got about 1,000 pounds in the ring here. We got Braun Strowman, Omos, MVP is going to be present. Bill, how do you see the Battle of the Giants shaking out this Saturday afternoon?
I'm going to say Braun wins. I don't know how long this goes. I'm going to say maybe 6 or 7 minutes at most. I think it's going to be, I use the phrase classic loosely, but a classic Goldberg match, as what we've seen from him as of late, or from his recent run. But I feel like this is just really to reestablish Braun. I think Omos had his run, but, you know, fans haven't seen Braun in a while. Maybe they just want to put him over as the monster of all of the monsters in the WWE universe.
Yeah, SP3, I kind of equate this to like prison yard rules. Like you show up, Braun shows back up, and what do? You punch the biggest dude in the yard just to prove your dominance. And I kind of feel like that's what WWE's going here with Braun Strowman. Because remember, everybody said, well, they don't need Braun Strowman anymore because they have Omos. Omos was Vince's guy to replace Braun Strowman, and now Braun is back here to take on the big man now that Vince is gone.
Yeah, I mean, this can go one of two ways. It could surprise us all, and we can get what Bill's talking about, maybe like the Brock Goldberg WrestleMania 33 type match that's all thriller, no filler. Or we can get some of those classic Great Khali versus Kane matches. And I think that we are going towards the latter here with what I've seen from Omos. I will say Braun Strowman, I do have winning this one, because if you look at it, based on the people that Triple H has brought back, Braun is one of the stronger booked people. I would say it's him, Karrion Kross, and Johnny Gargano that have been the best booked out of the people Triple H has brought back into the company. And like Bill said, I think this is kind of the cementing win that he's the monster, the number one monster in WWE again.
Yeah, I think Braun wins this one. I don't think this is going to be pretty. I think this is going to be, big, meaty men bumping meat kind of a match. Braun's going to go over on the end. I think the power slam he's going to hit on Omos is going to be impressive, and hopefully it goes off without a hitch, but I really don't have a whole lot to say on this one. I think this one is tailor-made, like I said, to just establish Braun as the big dude in the yard once again. We got the OC returning Gallows and Anderson teaming up with AJ Styles to take on the Judgment Day here, SP3. Rhea Ripley is going to be floating around there. She's going to play a role in this matchup. OC's been trying to recruit somebody to come in and kind of even the odds there, even because it's basically kind of a one-way street when we're talking about Rhea Ripley here. She can body slam Gallows, but they ain't going to touch her. So how do you feel? What kind of a role is Rhea going to play on Sunday? Are they going to be able, Saturday? Are they going to be able to find anybody to even the odds here? How do you see this one shaking out?
I predicted, this was one of the names I threw out there. The more obvious choice to kind of even the odds for the OC is Beth Phoenix, but I know a lot of people would love for her to kind of sell the concerto that she received at Extreme Rules a little bit longer, so you can take her out of the equation. There's people that they said are going to be brought into WWE or come back to WWE, Chelsea Green, Tegan Knox. Those names don't kind of really fit there. I suggested Raquel Rodriguez. She has a history with Rhea Ripley. She's a formidable force. She kind of would fit in kind of with the OC, with their look and their feel. She would kind of just fit in nicely with them. And then I heard the report that Raquel and AJ Styles have been teaming up on house shows. So it makes me lean even further into that idea. So I think it is going to be Raquel, and the OC kind of has to win this one, even though I don't want them to. I want to see the Judgment Day push continue. But if the OC loses here, why the hell did you bring back out? Did you just bring back Gallows and Anderson to just job out to Judgment Day? Because the OC has pretty much been chumped out by Judgment Day in the lead up to this. They got the advantage, coming back, but ever since then, they just been, putting them over every single week. So they kind of have to win at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic there, Bill, because you have Judgment Day, which has steadily been gaining ground and picking up momentum. And then, as SP3 just said, man, you just brought back Gallows and Anderson. You reunite the OC, which the last time we saw them in WWE, they were all jobbing out to The Undertaker before they got released. So now they're coming back. How do you see this one shaking out?
Again, similar to my argument for Braun, I think maybe put over the OC. It feels like, I don't want to say they don't know what they're doing with Judgment Day, but it feels like, are you going to push them really hard and have them be this, unstoppable stable? Are you going to have them be like fodder for whoever else they're facing? Like, the Edge thing, it, kind of felt like almost like 50-50 booking in a way. I feel like the OC can afford to take the loss here, but I don't know if they will, without going too behind the scenes and saying like, like what they have planned down the line for the next 3 or 4 months, I think, short term, I think Judgment Day can afford to take a loss and maybe establish the OC as, a formidable team again.
Yeah, again, I see Rhea playing a huge role in this. I don't know who the OC brings in to try to corral her and keep her from interjecting in the match and giving Judgment Day the upper hand. And maybe they don't. Maybe they don't have anybody. And Rhea, once again, is the X factor in this. And that's how they kind of justify the loss for the OC. I think if anybody in this match could kind of eat the pin, as strange as it would say, and not really lose any ground, it's AJ Styles, because what has he really won in the last year and a half anyway? But man, this one is tough because I'm with you, SP3. I kind of want Judgment Day to stay on this momentum, and I'd like to see a heel faction that is talk the talk for months about, hey, we're here to take over. And then they lose like 3 straight matches to Edge, and they always got to cheat to win. I would like to see a strong heel faction actually back up the bullshit that they've been slinging and actually start to take over. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about this twice on this very program because we have another heel faction on the women's side we're going to be talking about in 2 separate matches here coming up. I feel like if the OC can pull somebody in to rein in Rhea, they'll get the win here. And maybe they pin Dominic. I don't know. That would make sense because she's kind of Rhea's Bobo. So if she's not, there to protect Dominic, he can eat the pinfall here. You talked about who did you bring up that you'd like to see show up? Raquel Rodriguez. I actually love that because let's be honest, her booking on SmackDown hasn't exactly been great since she's gotten there. They haven't really done anything of substance with her outside of her dominating a 10-minute match with Ronda Rousey and then losing via a fluke. She wins the tag team titles with Aaliyah, holds them for all of 2 weeks. Doesn't really have a character or any kind of prominent storyline right now. Putting her with the OC would be great. I'd throw in Piper Niven as a secondary person that I'd love to see show up and be in there because they're not doing anything with her anyway. Note I said Piper, not Dewdrop. You already brought Nikki Cross back. Might as well bring back Piper while we're at it. She's somebody who also has history with Rhea Ripley, both coming from NXT UK. I feel like, man, I flip a coin. I feel I'm going to go with Judgment Day. I think Judgment Day is going to find a way to get a win here. I don't know. I feel like they brought back Gallows and Anderson to kind of fill out the tag team division, but I don't know if they have any real plans for them right now. We got Drew McIntyre. We got Karrion Kross. It is inside of a steel cage. For me, I think this one, you can't go 50-50 booking, right? Like right off the bat with Karrion Kross as far as this is concerned with Drew McIntyre. I think some way, somehow, he gets the win in this one. I'd like to see him win a matchup without needing help from Scarlett because it's like it doesn't matter who the opponent is. She always has to interject. She always has to help him win. I think this dude can be a big enough a badass that he can win matches on his own. Bill, do you think that happens in this situation?
I'm not sure. Logic would make you think the cage is going to keep her out, but it's wrestling, and we know that's not going to happen. I'm going to agree with you. I feel like Kross is enough of a threat where he doesn't need her help in this situation. Like look at what he did in NXT. Like she was part of the theatrics and she's played her role well on SmackDown so far, but I feel like push comes to shove, you have to let him do what he did or what he can do on his own at some point. I know that they're a tandem, but they're always going to be. So there's no reason not to, let him stand on his own instead of, possibly running into another Adam Cole promo situation where, more than talent start taking shots at him. So I think Kross wins again. This is nothing to do with the result, but I kind of wish the blue cage would come back. That's like, I don't know. I feel like they do so much for these shows sort of as a nostalgia pop. Like why not go get the blue cage out of storage and pop that way?
SB3, I feel like this is a match that not only Cross needs to win, but I feel like this is kind of I feel like this needs to be one of those matches where Cross kind of makes a statement in his performance and really kind of solidifies himself as that top tier performer that everybody feels like, or at least a lot of people feel like he has the potential to be.
I think Karrion Kross needs a strong match more than he needs a win. Because the steel cage, in traditional sense in WWE's thinking, is that Karrion Kross can lose this match without being pinned or submitted. Drew McIntyre escapes the cage, and then you can still go on and say Karrion Kross is unpinned in WWE, is unpinned, unsubmitted for over a year. They can go on a streak, and he can win every other match after that. That's why I think Drew McIntyre, he needs a win. He needs a win much more than Karrion Kross at this point. He lost at Clash of the Castle and then sang like a damn fool in front of his home country. And then he lost at Extreme Rules. And then, you know, how many times can a baby face lose before he's not effective or you have to take him down a peg? And Drew McIntyre is one of the few main event baby faces that they have. So I think that he needs a win at this point. So that's why I'm going with Drew.
You could do the classic, you know, big man moment where Cross chucks McIntyre through the damn cage. And
no, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry. Karrion Kross is not that guy. He's not that guy. He's not. He has like, he's hard hitting. He can do suplexes, but he doesn't have that strength that has been, you know, historically for people that do that spot.
Yeah, but you got McIntyre. He's a big dude. Momentum carries a lot in that kind of situation. You could set something up like that. I would tend to agree with you, though. I do think Cross needs a big performance here more than I would necessarily think that he would need a win. I don't know if McIntyre would just escape the cage, though. I feel like he's a guy who would want to beat Karrion Kross. So it's going to be like legitimately beat him, whether pin him or submit him, especially all the bullshit that Kross has been doing with him. He's not just going to literally walk away from the fight. I think this is a situation where McIntyre is going to try to end it. I think Kross ends up winning one way or the other, though. We got the men's tag team titles on the line. Hopefully Jay is feeling oozy enough because he's got to take on the Brawling Brutes. We got Butch. We got Ridge Holland. Bill, is there any way, shape, or form the Usos walk out of Saudi Arabia without the hardware that they came in with?
There's always a chance, but it's very, 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 very slim. I do not see. I don't see a scenario where they lose this match. So
I'm kind of there too. Well, this is a fresh babyface tag team, SB3. We talked about this earlier in the week that they have, you know, finally set up as a fresh opponent for the Usos. But they're not winning this match. Let's be honest here.
Well, you know, for a day or so, my nickname on Twitter was the #1 Triple H critic. And I'm sorry I got to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy again. And I'm going to say, everybody was telling me Triple H is this big lover of tag team wrestling. Yeah, he's done so much to rebuild this tag team division. What has he done? He's done nothing. All he did was change the Brawling Brutes to baby faces. They didn't get any credibility building wins. They beat Solo and Sammy. Great, because Sammy can't get along with Jay. That had more to do with the bloodline than it had anything to do with them. They've lost repeatedly to Imperium. So it's just like, and they lost to the Usos on SmackDown. So it's like, how am I supposed to be interested or think that the Brawling Brutes have any chance of winning? So that takes away some of my enjoyment of the match going in, because I know who's going to win. But I think they're going to have a pretty good matchup. They're going to be in front of a vocal crowd. This kind of seems like the type of match that would kick off the show. But yeah, the Usos are winning.
You know, the only way that I could see the Usos losing this matchup is what you said exactly just a few moments ago. The fact that Jay and Sammy aren't getting along with one another. You could have some kind of an angle between Jay and Sammy. The only issue is Sammy's not going to be there. It's in Saudi Arabia. You can't even do that. You can't even play off of that angle There's absolutely no way that the Brawling Brutes are going to beat the Usos clean. I think those tag team titles are going to stay on their shoulders until Sammy is kicked out of the bloodline and they bring in Kevin Owens and you get KO and Sammy, and they're going to be the ones that take the belts off the Usos. And if that is not the direction they go, I don't know what the fuck Triple H is doing, to be completely honest. Speaking of things, yeah, Bill, go ahead.
I was going to say really quick, we all kind of think this is going to be very one-sided, but I don't think that means we're not going to have a fun match. Like, it's still the Usos. As you pointed out, it very well could be a kickoff or an opening match. I think it's going to be good. It's just I don't see them dropping the titles at least the rest of the year.
Predictable doesn't mean it's going to be bad at all. 100%. We know what the outcome is going to be, and that's fine. And that may hold true for a couple of these other matches we're going to talk about, but they're still going to be good matches. You're absolutely right. Speaking of, I don't know what the fuck Triple H is doing. Let's talk about the women's tag team titles. Where to start? So Triple H comes in. He immediately establishes that he's going to bring back the women's tag team titles. He sets up the women's tag team title tournament as quickly as possible with like 8 makeshift tag teams and like the one team that he introduced at SummerSlam. Then they don't even win the damn thing. It's Raquel and Aaliyah. They hold the belts for 2 weeks. Damage Control wins the match after they get a rematch because they got screwed because Dakota wasn't the legal competitor in the first match. Okay, fine. They should have won the damn tournament. They didn't. You would think that they're going to have a lengthy run with them because you're trying to establish this dominant heel faction, a la like I talked about with Judgment Day earlier. And then this past Monday, Dakota and Io dropped the tag team titles to Asuka and Alexa Bliss after 48 days. So now we've had 3 different champions in less time than the titles were vacant in the first damn place. And we're getting a rematch SP3 all of 6 days later. Is there any way that this is just Triple H booking for shock value and he corrects a mistake that he made on Monday and puts the titles back on Damage Control in Saudi Arabia?
Triple H, this great purveyor of tag team and women's wrestling. He's doing great by these women's tag team titles. I'm so glad he brought back these titles so we could get a 13-day reign of Aaliyah and Raquel Rodriguez, and we could get a 48-day reign of Damage Control where they lost a 3-on-1 advantage in a ladder match during that reign. Great stuff. Great stuff by Damage Control. Man, I watched the other day my reaction, my review of SummerSlam, and I was so excited about Damage Control. I was so happy. But 3 months later, it just feels like Triple H blew his load on 3 returns at once and didn't know what to do with them as a unit. But hopefully, maybe Crown Jewel will be known as the recovery of Damage Control. So I'll go with Dakota and Io.
I'll hold my comments on that, Bill. Look, this has been a clusterfuck. There's no other way to describe it. And you know, what SP3, in my opinion, just said is factual because we've heard Dakota go on record and say that she wasn't even called to come into SummerSlam until 2 days before the event. So it's not like Triple H had these big master plans laid out. This was a Hail Mary by Bayley to the new regime to say, hey, can I finally get this group together that I've been wanting to have for seemingly years now that Vince McMahon turned down every time she brought it up. And Triple H is, fuck it. What's Dakota doing? Call her in. Get her up here. Let's go. We'll bring in Io Sky, get her signed. Great on paper. The execution afterwards has just been one head scratcher after another. Do we get another head scratcher this Saturday?
I don't get, I hate title switches like this. I mean, the most recent one, obviously we saw how convoluted and much people complained about it. Punk and Moxley. Better left. Let's not go there. We're still seeing the fallout of that, but I don't get the title switch. I mean, maybe you argue it was to, get people to tune into Raw, but it's like, are you gonna flip the titles back? Like, I think the women's tag team division in WWE is just, I really feel like they don't know what they're doing. I feel like it was, okay, let's give the women titles, but like you need something meaningful. Like it can't just be makeshift teams like we saw a few years ago in the men's tag team, and then with all the women's stables where it was like, just let's put team at the beginning of their name, and that's how we know they're a team, because it says team, like Team PCB or whatever. But they need to get something going. I don't know if this show is going to be that show that it happens on, just because politically what's going on, like, it's Saudi Arabia. There's, still some things they have to adhere by, but I kind of feel safe in saying at least we're not going to get a bunch of predictions of, hey, this is the show Sasha and Naomi come back at.
Yeah.
So we've heard that for 5 months.
And I think that's part of the issue here is I feel like Triple H thought Sasha and Naomi would be back by now. Like
possibly.
That's based off of the booking that we've seen. That's the sense that I get here is he thought they would be back by now and they would be an established babyface tag team to go up against Dakota and Io. If that is still the end game here, you got to put the belts back on them sooner rather than later. Or not, because Sasha's out there living her best life right now. She's at red carpets and purple carpets, and she's doing New York Fashion Week, and she's doing modeling and this, that, and the other thing. And wherever she goes, Naomi seems to be there. We heard reports that Naomi's, negotiating to come back. Sasha has at least a decent enough relationship with WWE where she's backstage at a New Mexico City event. So, I mean, who knows what the hell's going on there? When they're back, they're back. We'll just say that much. But as far as this matchup right here, right now, my goodness, man, you've had so many hits in big matches for Damage Control. I honestly don't think, at least in the eyes of the fans, that this group is already waffling. They're already wavering. You cannot hand them another major loss. Let's not forget the fact, and SP3 brought up the fact that Bianca Belair already single-handedly beat all three of these ladies in a ladder match by herself. Not only did they lose the belts on Monday, they lost that damn match twice because Io Sky tapped out. The referee didn't see it. Typically, you do that booking so the heels can walk away with the gold. No, they still lost the fucking match anyway at the end of it. So they lost that damn match twice. This has to be Damage Control. They have to get the belts back. I call it shock value win for Alexa and Asuka. Hey, tune into Monday Night Raw during football season because any fucking thing can happen. That's the only explanation I can make for this. I love Asuka. I love Alexa Bliss. I would hope that they have some creative, concrete plans for them because they've been nothing but sidekick bobos to Bianca Belair since this whole entire thing happened. I'm not sure any of that's gonna happen until after Survivor Series because again, this. Talk about kicking the can down the road. It feels like this is going to be a culmination in War Games where Damage Control needs to win there, but that can't be the big payoff. You can't sit here and say, hey, we're going to take control, and the only big win you get at War Games is the prize of nothing. You won War Games. You got to walk away with this with all the gold if you're going to take control. So it has to be Damage Control, and then I'll go ahead and roll right into this. I love Bianca Belair. I think she is a superstar. I think she has reached the echelon of the 4 horsewomen. But it has been 3 years since we have seen Bayley win a big match. Since the last time that she held gold. Granted, there was a lengthy spell there where she was hurt. All right, that's great. But she was the person that Bianca first went over on her big rise up to the top. She was the first pillar, the first horsewoman that she knocked off, and she knocked her off on several occasions. This is a last woman standing match. You don't have to pin Bianca. You don't have to make her submit. You don't have to make her quit. All you got to do is knock her out, and you got 2 other women that you can help you along the way to get this done. For Damage Control's sake, for Bayley's sake, she has got to win a big match, SP3. I'm glad Bianca's had this historic run. She'll get another. Bayley has to win this. She has to win this. There's no other way around it. She has to win. For her sake and Damage Control's sake, she has to win.
And Why am I more confident in Dakota and Io than I am in Bayley? I'm going for Bayley here. Don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going for Bayley here because I believe, I'm a Damage Control stan. All I've been doing is complain about Triple H for Damage Control because I can't believe he has done this. He has created a female Nexus. They are basically Nexus in the fall of 2010 already. And it hasn't even been more than 100 days of them as a unit. Like, oh, God. Bayley has to win. Bianca Belair has had a credibility building reign here, put on so many good to great matches, whether it be the triple threat at Hell in a Cell against Becky at SummerSlam, of course, the match winning it at WrestleMania, one of the best WWE matches of the year. Her match with Bayley was very good at last month in the ladder match. And this match, of course, they have good chemistry with another. It's going to be another good matchup. But Bianca has been built like the female John Cena at this point. And this kind of stipulation, that's why I don't feel 100% about my prediction of Bayley, because typically John Cena like stature, John Cena like characters don't lose last woman standing matches. So I'm worried for Bayley, but I'm going for it.
Bill, I don't care if they got to park a damn forklift on top of Bianca Belair. She's got to stay down for a 10 count in this one, doesn't she not?
Let's stay on the John Cena comparison. He didn't really lose those type of matches, but maybe sometimes he should have to put over the whether it was Umaga or whether, he had some good matches with Edge. I feel like Edge maybe made out the best out of working with him, but I think Bayley needs this one, like really needs this win. She could do a lot with the title going into Mania. It feels like Becky versus Bayley is a way to go. I think, put some more heat on Bayley, let that simmer until Becky comes back. I'm not sure what the immediate answer is for Bianca, but she's had a great reign. This is longer than her SmackDown title run. She's looked great all year. I think, put Bayley over. Let's see what else Bianca can do. She's a huge star. She's going to have many, many more title runs, I think, before it's all said and done. They clearly have confidence in her. We saw the report this week. She and Montez are getting the Hulu show, so they clearly have invested in her in many ways. She's not going away. She'll be back in the title picture, but Bayley needs this. I think she goes over. I'm not sure how. I think, it's not going to be a clean win, but I think we're going to see Bayley holding the title after Saturday.
Maybe Nikki gets involved in this. Maybe that's the X factor in this one, to kind of set up what the teams are going to be for that War Games match. I think we can all predict that, these ladies are going to be involved in a War Games match. Maybe it's Nikki who rounds out as the fourth member of that Damage Control team. Nikki's kind of been a tweener in between, just attacking anybody because she's wild and crazy Nikki again, and everybody's happy about that. It's a possibility. I don't care how, honestly. She could beat her clean as a sheet. I don't care. It's a last woman standing match. There's no clean about it. You can knock her out with brass knucks. You can just sit over top of her and punch her in the face with brass knucks until she passes out. It doesn't matter. Bayley's got to win this one somehow, some way. I don't know what this does for Damage Control if all three of these ladies lose again on the big stage. I just they got to win something with stakes. They won at Clash. That's great. Cool. You pin Bianca for the first time in like a year? Because she's been the strongest built person outside of maybe Bobby Lashley in the entire freaking company. What'd that win you? Nothing. You're probably going to win at War Games. Cool. What's that going to win you? Nothing. You got to win something with some stakes. SP3, just the fact that Bray is going to be there on Saturday probably took my excitement level for this pay-per-view from about a 6.5 up to about an 8, I would say, because you never know what we're going to get with Bray Wyatt, especially this iteration of Bray Wyatt. I still don't know what or who the fuck Uncle Howdy is. He kind of creeps me out, and I'm cool with that. I'm interested to see where this is going with this. Do you think we get another appearance by Uncle Howdy? Do we finally get an unmasking of a member of the Wyatt Six? Do we get it? Is this the spot where we get the big return? Bill said probably not Sasha and Naomi here. Could we get a big return here with Bray Wyatt?
I mean, I want this to kind of be like the breadcrumbs. So I think that, the whole thing with Uncle Howdy, I think we need a development. If it's going to be on a premium live event, it needs to be a segment that we're going to actually remember. So, they could go the route of revealing who Uncle Howdy is, but I would just like the reveal of knowing that Uncle Howdy is an actual other person. So if they could just do a segment where, Bray comes out, he could cut his promo, then the lights go out, you hear Uncle Howdy on the screen, and then we get an entrance for Uncle Howdy. We get a stare down with him and Bray, and then they do the usual Bray Wyatt stuff of, and then lights go out, they disappear. Next segment, let's go.
Bill, I feel like we need a reveal here because if there are legitimately 6 members of the Wyatt, if there's a faction and it's a Wyatt 6 and we got 5 people to go, the pacing for this that they're doing right now, we're not going to know who all's in the Wyatt 6, and Bray might not even have a damn match until WrestleMania at this point. At some point, he's got to get in a ring, right, and actually wrestle. So I'm hoping we get some kind of a reveal. I'm enjoying it, but I feel like the pacing needs to pick up here a little bit.
Yeah, I need something a little more to advance the story. The White Rabbit stuff was really fun. I don't want to discount anybody, but whoever is under that mask, like, is it going to be a big reveal, or is it all of us building up our expectations of who it is or who it isn't?
I mean, you got everybody thinking it's Bo Dallas based off of Uncle Howdy's earring.
Which would, it's kind of, okay, put Bo and Bray together. That's kind of been the argument for the past 3-4 years or whatever it may be.
Makes sense.
It makes sense? Is that enough for, people to be like, oh yeah, I'm really glad they paid that off because they never really promised it? I'm kind of thinking, all right, maybe just have Uncle Howdy appear in the ring, or, just physically appear instead of it being the promos like we've seen the past 2 weeks. So I honestly, I don't know if I have too many expectations for Bray's appearance, just because, we don't know where it's going, and that's not really a bad thing. It's just, I kind of want to, I want to set my expectations to the right level. And like you said, if there's 6 people, I think they need to, give us one of them. Say it's 3 people in the 6, but, there's 3 people and then the 3 alter egos. Like, what if they're, looking at it that way? Then I'd say, yeah, maybe draw it out if there's only 3 wrestlers. And then, some people think like the like Huskus and Rambling Rabbit, like they're going to play off of that. But I'm kind of just taking a wait and see approach to this.
Yeah, I think at the bare minimum, and SP3 kind of brought this up, I think at the bare minimum by Saturday, we should know whether or not the Wyatt 6 are actual other people, or they're just Bray Wyatt playing off of identity, and it's just all in his head, and he's playing all of these different characters. Because I think that, Bill, would set up the expectations then. Well, if it's just Bray Wyatt and he's talking to himself, okay, we know what direction this is going to go, and we should not, expect anybody like a Bo Dallas or a Chelsea Green or, pick anybody, Liv Morgan, to hop up. But at the same time, we have seen those backstage segments where you got those hooded figures who are praying and kneeling to Bray Wyatt's new symbol, which makes me think that there are going to be people involved. I just hope that we get one reveal this coming Saturday at Crown Jewel. Guys, make sure to hammer that thumbs up button if you're enjoying the show so far today. That really helps drive up our audience, so we appreciate that. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. And by the way, make sure to hammer that subscribe button. We're inching closer to 500 subscribers. As soon as we get there, somebody's winning $100 to either shop AEW or WWE shop. It is on us. It is your choice, whichever one you want to get. If you want to go out and buy 5 of those Scissor Me Daddy foam fingers, foam scissor hands, you can do it. You can get them on us. I'm just guessing. I don't know how much they are. I'm sure they're probably $20. Like, let's be honest. It's wrestling merch. It's going to be expensive. So it's on us. That's what I'm saying. All you got to do is hit subscribe, go check out my pinned tweet and retweet it, and you're registered. Here we go. 2 more matches left, and this might be the one I'm looking forward to the most. I honestly don't care who wins, because who wins, we win. It's going to be Lashley. It is going to be Lesnar. They are going to beat the holy shit out of each other, SP3, and I am going to enjoy every single solitary minute of it.
Yeah, I think this should be a lot of fun. I think this is going to be definitely the all thriller, no filler type of matchup. I just hope that they can improve upon what we got at the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble was kind of a nice teaser, but it was more about the finish than anything we saw in the match. A lot of that was down to maybe Lashley, being hurt at that time and stuff. So I hope he's healthy. I hope he's ready, because I'm really looking forward to this match. Probably the most intriguing matchup heading into Crown Jewel. But I got Bobby Lashley taking the loss here and Brock Lesnar getting his win back.
Yeah, I think Lesnar is going to get the win here to complete the 50-50 booking and set up the rubber match down the road. And I think that's something that WWE would want to do to establish another match. The thing that I remember most about this first match back at the Royal Rumble was just how Bobby was taking those German suplexes, and he kept throwing his arm out there to kind of try to brace himself. For the love of God, I really hope we don't get that, because I'm just sitting here watching that match and I'm going, he is going to hurt his damn shoulder doing that. And then what happens? Like a month later, he's hurts his shoulder. His shoulder's hurt, and he has to go off for a couple of months. So you can't tell me that didn't happen in that match. And if it didn't happen in that match, it's a damn miracle. So I'm hoping if we get some German suplexes, they're a little bit more clean. Regardless, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of this. I do have Lesnar winning this one. What about you, Bill?
I'm going to say Lesnar wins. I don't really mind the rubber match aspect in this one, because they're just, 2 huge dudes going to beat the crap out of each other. It might be a finisher fest. I think maybe with Lashley involved, we'll get a little bit more of an athletic contest, but there's not too much to my argument. I think they're just going to let Brock get his win back. Normally, I don't like that. I kind of already said that about other matches earlier in the show, but in this case, I think it works, especially when Lashley wants to work with Brock. He's already said he doesn't think they're done after this. I think it could be a really solid undercard match for the Royal Rumble. So I think Brock gets his win back, and that also kind of frees up somebody to fight Roman Reigns or Logan Paul, depending on how that shakes out. I'll be fair for now, but that kind of allows somebody else to move into the title picture, and it gives Brock and Lashley something to build off of, instead of both starting a fresh feud or Brock disappearing for months as he's known to do. So I think Brock wins here.
That could be an interesting way, that because you bring up a next challenger for Roman Reigns. I mean, they could have Lashley win this match. You could do some kind of an angle where, Lesnar's laid out, Lesnar's hurt. I don't expect him to be at Survivor Series necessarily. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't show back up until WrestleMania season. After this match with Lashley, you could pick things back up there. You could have Lashley win this match and set him up as the next challenger for Roman Reigns heading into WrestleMania season. That might be something they could do. And I'll go ahead and put the disrespect on Logan's name, and I'll just go ahead and say the next challenger for Roman Reigns. That could be an option that they would go with, but I think this is tailor-made for Lesnar to get the win here.
What are we living in the same world? This is Brock Lesnar we're talking about. I just thought about it. He pretty much, outside of Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns, he's never let anyone beat him, and he didn't have a win over them or a win back on them. And he beat Roman plenty of times before Roman started beating him. And Drew McIntyre is pretty much the only exception to the rule. Pretty much every person that has beaten him since his return in 2012, he's either beaten them before or he beat them after. And I think Bobby Lashley is going to be the same. And it sets up a nice little, final match of the trilogy. I think it would be at WrestleMania. I think both guys would be in the Royal Rumble to build it up further for WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's where I would go with it. You can space this out. Lashley and Lesnar at Mania in Hollywood. I think that's a perfect spot for Brock Lesnar, who, for the love of God, does not need to be in the title picture for a very long time, if ever again.
And if it wasn't for the microwave booking to get him ready for WrestleMania, Brock would have lost this whole year. He lost at the Royal Rumble to Lashley. He lost to Roman at WrestleMania, lost to Roman at SummerSlam. If it wasn't for him having to win the Rumble and the Elimination Chamber to set up the big match at WrestleMania, he would have lost pretty much this whole year. So I think they're going to even things up and have Brock win here.
All right, let's get to the main event of the evening. It is Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, defending the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship of the World, or whatever the hell they're calling it now, against Logan Paul. His brother Jake is reportedly going to be there by his side to kind of even the odds here, at least a little bit. Logan Paul says all he needs to do is land that one lucky shot there, Bill. Do they shock the world? Do they put the title on Logan Paul in his third match ever? Does he stop the, what are we at, 800-day reign of Brock? I've lost count at this, of Roman Reigns. I've lost count at this point. It's been a hell of a run. Does it come to an end on Saturday? Is there any prayer, any chance whatsoever Logan Paul walks out of Saudi Arabia with the belts?
There's a chance. There's always a chance, but I don't see him winning. And I was respectful when I brought him up before, but I don't think I want. So I was thinking about this. I want Santino Marella in the 2012 Elimination Chamber match. That's what I want from Logan Paul. Nobody thinks he's going to win, but by the end of that match, you thought he had a legit chance, and there was a few kickouts, near falls where you were like, oh my God, they're actually going to do it. I want that. I want to suspend disbelief. I want it to be that close. Like, you're putting him in this spot. You clearly believe he's talented enough to be in that spot. And he's already impressed in his other two matches.
Yes.
Like, blew expectations away in his first two matches. I have no doubt that he can do it here. So make it the best match that you can be. Maybe at the end of it or on SmackDown, like however you want to do it, Roman wins, kind of, gives Logan his due and, just like, all right, you gave me a good fight. And then he, still does like the acknowledge me to kind of get some of the heat back. But you have to, you have to build him in, just make him a credible opponent, a credible challenger, like, or else why is he in this spot in the first place? So I don't think he's going to win, but I really want to see that, like, make it as close as you can.
Yeah, make no mistake about it. I don't think Logan Paul has a prayer of walking away with the championships, but he's absolutely talented enough to earn this spot. This is a dude that has impressed me, granted, albeit twice, the two times that he has gotten in the ring. This dude is taken to the business like a duck to water. He is comfortable. He knows how to work a crowd. He, just sells everything spectacularly. He's obviously an athlete. The dude knows what he's doing, and I think he's got it in him to put on a great match with Roman Reigns. There's no doubt about that in my mind. But from a logistical standpoint, when you compare the resumes, Roman Reigns needs to win this match. He's going to win this match, and I think he needs, the most importantly, the thing I'm looking for here is I don't want Roman Reigns to get help to beat Logan Paul. Roman Reigns you can still do exactly what you're talking about. Give us the Santino, have Logan Paul, go in there and give him the fight of his life and pull off a couple of near falls. Maybe Jake gets involved there a little bit, to kind of help him out there, because does need the assistance. But at the end of the day, Roman Reigns, who gets a lot of help, who has gotten a lot of help to retain the belts over the last 2 years plus, he shouldn't be getting bloodline help to beat Logan Paul in his third match. I would hope we get a clean finish, a great match regardless, but Roman Reigns does win this one, SP3.
Yeah, I mean, you can forget the last time Roman Reigns kind of won without any like bloodline help. I mean, he beat Matt Riddle, but that was kind of like on TV, but like on a major show, he's gotten a lot of help to beat, Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle. He used the championship at WrestleMania to beat Brock. So like, yeah, it's been a lot of defenses as of late that he needed, an assist or needed to cheat to win. This shouldn't be one of them. But Logan Paul is the most famous person in WWE currently. So I'm convinced due to the booking of Damage CTRL, Triple H hates me. So if he really wants to stick it to me, Logan Paul will walk out of Saudi Arabia as our new undisputed WWE Universal Champion, and then you can do Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania. It doesn't need any title; it'll still be the main event, and you could do Logan Paul versus Cody Rhodes for all the gold. Two of the most famous people that are blonde in the world, Cody and Logan, at WrestleMania 39.
Do you actually think that's what's going to happen?
No, I said I think Roman Reigns is gonna win.
Oh, okay.
Logan Paul's the most famous person. This puts eyes on the title, puts eyes on WWE. He could go to all his appearances with Jake Paul, the boxing star. He just beat Anderson Silva. Is like, I beat Anderson Silva, and Logan's like, I beat Roman Reigns. Like, dude, they can go around the world, and it puts WWE on the map. So I could see the argument for Logan Paul is all I'm really saying here. Roman Reigns, I think, is going to win. I'm hoping to God he's going to win. But if Triple H wants to stick it to me at the same time, give more eyes, more money for WWE, Logan Paul, new champion.
Look, I'll say this much. Heading into an event in Saudi Arabia, I didn't think there was a prayer that they would feed the Fiend to Bill Goldberg. And what the fuck did they do? Granted, different regime, but I guess, not to pull out an old trope here, but I guess never say never. We'll all keep our fingers crossed. Bill, it's been a pleasure to have you. Where can people find your stuff, plug the site, do all that good stuff, sir?
WrestleZone.com. Where I'm at most of the time. Twitter right there. Bill Pritchard 152. That's about it. Just check us out on the website. We have some new interviews coming out in the next week, getting them ready for NWA Hard Times 3. Nice. NWA Hard Times in New Orleans. Should have right now 2. I'm working on a third one, so that'll be a nice week of content. And yeah, like I said, Twitter for wrestling or pop culture, whatever you want to talk about, I'm there.
Absolutely. You're one of the best follows for that reason specifically. SP3, you got your big show this weekend, yeah?
Oh, no. We're taking a week off. Crown Jewel preempted us because it moves us out the way. So you could check us out on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. We got our live watch along for Crown Jewel on Saturday. So join us for that. You can see me on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel for our Crown Jewel roundtable review on Sunday. So check out that. And for everything else, follow me at True Hill SP3. And thanks, Bill, for joining us. Appreciate seeing all the new people that I haven't been on screen with before. We love it here at Bleav.
Thank you guys once again for having me. It's been fun.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Again, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already to Bleav in Pro Wrestling. Working on setting up some interviews of my own for this month with Full Gear right around the corner as well. Also, I believe, finally, I will start filming this week on a brand new section of the channel that I have been trying to get in the can for a month now, but things just keep coming up. hopefully we'll be debuting something new for you guys here very, very, very soon. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I will leave the tease right there. So make sure to subscribe so you guys don't miss out on any of that. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy SmackDown and Rampage tonight and Crown Jewel tomorrow. SP3 and I will be back 2:15 Tuesday to break everything down from the entire weekend. Don't forget Monday night at 7 o'clock, the Raw pre-show with Lost in the Mid-Card. Jeremy and Matt, they'll have you guys covered there. And yeah, other than that, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy everything. Be safe. Have a great time. It's the Bleav in Pro Wrestling podcast brought to you by Bet Online.